Hi there everyone, and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be talking about fixed asset classes and fixed asset subclasses within the fixed asset ledger. So let's get into it. What I'm going to do is just jump into my fixed assets list and just show you where the two fields that we're talking about today are located. Okay, so on the fixed asset card I have the FA class code, the fixed asset class code, and the fixed asset subclass code. Okay, so these two fields are sort of linked together in that when we select a fixed asset class code, we get a filtered list of subclass codes shown to us. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just set up a new fixed asset here and I'll show you how those are assigned. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a description here, and on the fixed asset class code here of our test fixed asset, what I'm going to do first is just select a FA class code, a fixed asset class code of tangible. Okay, so you see I can drop down there, I've got tangible, intangible and financial, so I can choose any of those three. I can add a new record, I can see the full list there as well, but for now I'm just going to go in and select tangible, and then in the FA subclass code, or the fixed asset subclass code, what I can do is drill down here and I can choose from one of the subclasses. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got the fixed asset class code here selected as tangible, and that's why we've got a little funnel, a little filter here on this field. So because in the background here we selected a fixed asset class code of tangible, that's why we're seeing this filter here, and that's why we're seeing these options here of subclasses for equipment, plant, property and vehicles, because they are assigned the fixed asset class code of tangible. Okay, so one of the other cool things that you can do here with the fixed asset subclasses is you can also assign a default fixed asset posting group to a subclass as well. Okay, so normally you would keep these aligned. I guess in some circumstances you don't need to do that, or you shouldn't do that rather. But here you can see in the demonstration environment we have fixed asset subclasses of equipment, plant, property and vehicles, and they also have a default fixed asset posting group of equipment, plant, property and vehicles, so they are mirrored. Okay, and I won't go into it today in this video. We've got another video on posting groups, but as you probably already know, the posting group area within Business Central is what connects the sub ledgers to the general ledger. Okay, so not one for today, but we do have another video on that if you wanted to investigate. So what I'm going to do now is let me just go ahead and select a subclass here of equipment. So when I press OK, you can see here that the subclass code is updated to equipment, and then also the posting group is updated to equipment. Okay, so if you can put your subclass codes and your FA posting groups together, it just means that you don't need to do the assigning of a posting group every time you set up a new fixed asset, so could potentially save you some time. Okay, so let me now go back, and what I'm going to do here is change this to intangible, and you can see here the subclass code has cleared out, and what I'm going to do again here is just drill down into the subclass code, and here you can see I only have a single subclass set up here under the intangible fixed asset class code, which is goodwill. Okay, and again that's got its own default FA posting group assigned of goodwill. So I can go ahead and select that, and it's asking me here, look, the current fixed asset posting group is equipment, but the FA subclass goodwill has the default FA posting group goodwill. Do you want to update the posting group? So I guess typically you wouldn't normally do this on a fixed asset record in BC, but just be careful with this if you do. I guess in most circumstances here you would want to press yes, because you would want to update the posting group there. Okay, so now we can see the subclass code says goodwill and the posting group says goodwill as well. Okay, so what we need to do in order to set up these class codes and subclass codes and posting groups is we can go to the relevant tables here. So I can search, or I can just go in and say select from full list, and I now have my list of fixed asset classes. Okay, so I can add to this list as I want to, and we can modify, delete from here as we see fit. Okay, now the subclasses, if I go and search for those again here, I go to FA subclasses. What I have here is a list of all of the subclasses that we have on our Business Central company, along with the class code assigned to that and the default FA posting group. Okay, and again, in the FA subclasses, I can say test one, and I can assign an FA class code as well to that. So I can just pick test one, and I can put in a default fixed asset posting group there as well, right? So just going to choose vehicles in this one, and just want to show you here that we can set up our own fixed asset subclasses, our own classes, and our own posting groups here if we want to. So now if I go back to my fixed asset that we've been using for testing, I can go in and say test one in the class code. I can go in and say test one in the subclass code, and then I'm going to say yes to update the fixed asset posting group to vehicles. Okay, so that's how the class code, the subclass code work. They also assign the posting group if we use them in that way. And basically you can use the class code and the subclass code to break up your fixed asset ledger, and it might make your life easier when you're reporting. Okay, so just think about that when you're setting this up. Just think about how you want to, or you might want to, report on your fixed asset ledger. So just whilst we're here, we do have another field on the fixed asset card called FA location code. So this is not linked to sort of the warehousing module within Business Central. It's just a fixed asset location code which you can use to identify the location in which a fixed asset is kept. Okay, so again, that's just used for reporting purposes there. And if I go to select from full list, here I can add a new location, I can remove an existing location or change the existing location. Okay, so that's the extent to which we can use fixed asset locations. Now, once we populate this data, the data is available to us to report on in a number of different ways, right? So we can, once we've input the setup, once we've input these fields on a fixed asset card, we can go and report on them in a number of different ways. But if I go to one of the reports that you may typically use, which is the fixed asset book value 01, in here you'll notice that we have the group totals. And over here, I can run this report by fixed asset class, by subclass, by location, and a few other options there as well, right? So just thinking about, when you might want to report on your fixed asset ledger, have a think about how you might want to set these up, how you might want to use these. So I won't run that report, but I'll leave you guys to do that in a sandbox environment. Have a play. Let me know what you think. I hope you found this video useful. That was everything that I wanted to run through. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.